Hey, people warned me about wrinkles. They warned me about gray hair. They warned me about the fact that my body would change. But nobody warned me about this. The biggest surprise about getting older has nothing to do with aging. It has everything to do with how I see life. Hey, I'm Cheryl. This is Coffee, Chaos, and Grace. And I just want you to know that I thought life would feel more certain when I was 63. And when I was younger, I imagined that my 60s would mean that I'd have everything figured out. And instead, life still surprises me. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still making mistakes. What the heck? I honestly thought that getting older would mean that my life would just be in a nice set pattern and that I could just live, happily ever after. But I'm finding out that getting older doesn't mean that life stops changing. And there's a few things that I didn't expect. One of them was just caring less about what people think. I know that I used to hang with my grandparents, right? I had a couple of grandmas who were notorious for saying exactly what they thought. Ooh, ooh, you look like you're fatter than you were last time I saw you. Or you don't need to eat that. Or that dress does not look good on your figure. I mean, that kind of thing, right? They didn't care. They just told me exactly what they thought. And I thought, ugh, when I get to be that age, I am not going to do that. I will. Okay, I'm certainly not that crass, and I really do try to be careful about people's feelings, but I do care less about what people think and really try to be more authentically myself at this age. The other thing is, I have realized that time is more valuable to me. I am letting go of perfection. I'm appreciating ordinary moments for what they are. Just, hanging out with animals, being with, I said being with my grandchildren in the second thought. Okay, I don't put animals and my grandkids in the same thing, but being with people matters to me now. And really having those simple moments with them, really becoming more selective with the energy that I put into things. I've discovered that getting older isn't about becoming less. It's in many ways about becoming more of myself. The hardest part, though, about getting older are some of the things that I have lost. Losing friends, losing parents, or parents aging. That's definitely part of something that we deal with. But like losing my father was really, really difficult. And I, though, right now look at it as a huge blessing because I got to spend basically the last month of my dad's life with him. He was dying of, he had COVID, but it was at a time when you could actually be in the room with them. So it was in 22. And so I could be there with him. We didn't know that he was dying until toward the end. But I was there as just an encourager for him. I went to the hospital every day, and then when he was released from the hospital and went to a rehab facility, I was there, and I even slept in a bed next to him in the last few days. And I was there when he needed something. We were there to talk, a lot of talking when he wasn't sleeping. And that was just a really difficult time, but at the same time, I got to be there with him. And it's something that you experience later in your life, hopefully. Hopefully, you're not younger when you have to experience that. I was almost 60 when that happened. And so it was bittersweet. Okay. Because I was losing something that was super important to me. But at the same time, I was gaining a perspective that I wouldn't have been able to gain any other way but by going through that time. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that is probably the hardest thing that I've had to do. But when I look back, I am so happy that if it had to end, that I was there for it and there with him and there telling him I loved him on a daily basis, on an hourly basis toward the end. So that was a big thing, but it makes me put things into perspective, and it makes me realize that there are so many things that I'm grateful for. And I think when I was younger, I just didn't take stock in those things like I do now. The older I get, the less I am into impressing people, and the more I am into living a meaningful life. I want to look back on my life when I get at the end and realize that I did the best I could, and that I really tried to put meaning into so many things that were happening in my life. I am grateful for the fact that age has given me more courage, more grace, just better priorities, stronger relationships, and just less comparison and more appreciation. And I am hoping that that's something that we can all strive for as we get older, that is really where our focus is. Now, do I get to focus on that every single day? No. I certainly am not perfect, and I don't do that every day. And I wish I did. But I will tell you that if someone asked me today if I wanted to be 30 again, I'd probably say no. And it's not because life is easier now, but because I've become someone I genuinely like. And it's not that I didn't like myself at 30, but I just didn't understand the appreciation that I needed to have for every day that I have here. I'm rambling. Is there anything that life has taught you as you've gotten into your 40s, 50s, 60s? Are you getting some perspective that maybe you didn't have before? I would really love for you to share that with us. And if there's things that you're struggling with right now, share that too. You know, we are here to develop a community of people who are here to encourage each other, to be a positive light for people. And I'm really hoping that that is what's happening right now. If you check out the description, there's a link to our Facebook page. If you want to come in there, let's talk about the things that we are discussing here. And as people comment, feel free to comment back to them. Give them that encouragement that you feel like that they need. Because trust me, when you get that encouragement, it is such a blessing to you. But you know what? When you give encouragement to somebody else, it is tenfold. It's an amazing feeling to just encourage people in whatever struggles that they're having at this time. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it. If you are new here and you've made it to this point, welcome. And if you have been watching me for a while, gosh, I really appreciate you. And I Want to thank you. If you would like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know, that gets this message out to more people, and it helps us to be there as a community to more people. All right. Thanks again for being with me today. And until tomorrow, give yourself some grace today. Bye.